what's up, big man? What's up, all you big mans? How you doing in it, bro? Today we're gonna be talking about something crazy, man. I don't know why I'm speaking like this, man. I don't know, it's like combination of British and Jamaican, man. But I just saying, man, I just giving you some minute. Today, guys, we're gonna be going through in it, and we're gonna check out this, bro. We're gonna check out the hip hop on skrap pop, yes, rap pop, and we're going to ping the pun, and we're going to okay, let me stop.
You're done now. Skrap pop.
Intergeneric, hey guys, here. Welcome back to another episode of Smash Talk. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back here today, milking the DLC talk as much as we can. I'm joking, I swear I'm joking. This is actually something genuinely I wanted to talk about, I promise. This is just something that's been on my mind. So this was something that's come to kind of me thinking a lot about this next set of DLC. And the backlash from that Byleth got a while ago that we've already discussed multiple times. So I'm not going to talk about that, but what that did get me thinking about was how to finish off DLC. Now, DLC Fighter Pack 1 was definitely disappointing, and I remember when Smash 4, when Bayonetta got announced, it was hype, but at the same time, people were genuinely confused about, like, the finishers of how DLC was finished up. So today, I wanted to kind of discuss with you guys DLC Fighter Pass 2, and not who's going to be in the roster. I did a video on that, and I was thinking about how they could finish up the roster at that time, but I was mostly focusing on the contents within Fighter Pass 2, and I know a lot of channels have already talked about or are probably going to talk about this topic and who their personal fighter characters list is. However, I wanted to kind of go past that and kind of talk with you guys about how they're going to finish off Fighter Pass 2, especially after the backlash that Byleth caused and how they've wrapped that whole thing up. I think that this kind of needs to be discussed, you know what I'm saying? So without further ado, guys, grab your popcorn bags, grab your iPhone chargers, because this is probably going to be a video where I expect it to be 15 minutes long and then it turns out to be 30 minutes long. So grab your iPhone, because I know you're on 10%. I know you're in bed chilling right now, and your iPhone's in your backpack on the top left of your room, but you're too lazy to get it. So go get it, god dang it, go get it, because we're gonna be here for a while. Goodness gracious. Basically, how this is going to go is I'm going to kind of talk about what I mean by the big finisher. And then on top of that, I'm going to talk about potential big finisher characters, basically. Yeah, that's about it. So we know that the previous thing, the previous Fighter Pass did not end the best, and pretty much by the multitude of comments telling Sakurai to get fired. So with that being said, I wanted to go ahead and talk about what is the big finisher character and why that means a lot to the roster. I think a big finisher kind of in DLC in general is kind of a big thing when it comes to what gets announced and what's on DLC, but I think it is especially important for certain fighters. Characters like from Street Fighter, where certain characters get announced, I would say they don't have to worry about this as much because Smash is in kind of this weird situation where the characters that are being in the game are already established in their own game, so therefore they already have a said fan base and said people to want that character in Smash. Meanwhile, games like Tekken and Street Fighter mostly have to worry about the moveset part of the character, where in Smash people more focus on the character itself. So for example, characters like Cloud Strife and a bunch of other fighters get into Brawl, and usually that's how they wrap it up. But because Smash already has so many of these iconic fighters, and it's built around being a crossover in general, it's just a gigantic crossover. So for example, I'll give you guys an example. So in Mortal Kombat 11, Joker is one of the last DLC fighter. Pause. Okay, all right. Before we continue, I know. Okay, I know. Don't type in the comments, alright? I know, okay? I know the Aftermath DLC is coming out very soon, I think. The Aftermath trailer came out. I know, alright? It's not the last DLC ever for Mortal Kombat 11. But listen, my point still stands, mother truckers. Listen to me! My point still stands, man. My point still stands. Because Joker was one of the last characters in the last pack. He was like the second to last character in the last pack behind the Venom-looking head-ass dude over there. So, listen. It still counts. It is what it is, alright? Alright, we're not getting it, alright? Okay? We're cool. We're not cool. Dog, I will fist fight all of you, bro. I will fist fight everybody who disagrees. Go, stop! And this has many people's eyes and attracts many fans to that series because they're fans of the Joker, but none of them ever asked for it. Whereas in Smash, you already have a lot of these characters in the game, so you kind of have to try a little harder when it comes to the big finisher. And that's kind of where I wanted to get at, where the big finisher character is the one that finishes off everything. Well, a good example of this in Fighter Pass 1 would have been if they finished off with Banjo, or for the original roster of characters getting revealed, if they finished off with like King K. Rool. Something mind-blowing, something that'll have their fans having freaking nuts in their pants, bro. It would have to blow away the entire internet, essentially. It would be in trending for the next 2 days, not for negative reasons, but for positive reasons. I hope you guys understand what I'm talking about here. The big finisher character is someone that finishes off the roster. And that's it. That's all it is. That's what it simply is, and that's what it always be, and that's what it... What am I talking about? But then you compare it to like Mortal Kombat's Joker being announced for Mortal Kombat, going back to that. The thing that's intriguing about it, and the reason why people like it so much, is because it is a crossover. And we don't see this a lot with Mortal Kombat. That's how they usually do their DLCs. They put like these characters like that in there in order to promote the game to other audiences. Whereas Smash already does that initially. So you already have all these characters in the game. And I feel like the next set of characters we're getting is obviously going to be the typical things like a Jenny Pokemon, you know, get a couple Nintendo characters there, and of course certain reps from companies that have been repped before and have not been repped before. But I think that final character is someone we really need to pay attention to, and I think that's something that the Smash team, I feel like, really needs to focus on when it comes to revealing the characters, how they get revealed. And I think Byleth was a valuable lesson for them to focus a lot on the order of how the fighters are announced. So real quick, I kind of wanted to go over some characters that I think would fit this description. And when I mean the internet blows off, I don't mean like, oh, Waddle Dee finishes off the roster, or oh, some other character, even a Gen 3, even oh my gosh. Oh my god, this was the freaking Hoenn region. Pick your first Pokemon. I choose Crash Bandicoot. Even like my choices, like one character that I had that I would really like is Frogger, but I don't think that would be the greatest way to finish off the roster. It would be a way, but I don't think it would be the greatest way. And also I'd be curious to see you guys' comments in the comment section below. If you want, don't worry, you don't have to do it. I don't have a gun point to your head right now like this, telling you to please comment on my videos. Also make sure you subscribe, hit that like button, and please if you don't do it, I'm gonna make Fortnite content. Anyways, we're gonna go over a list of characters that I think will be worthy of a finisher character, and if you guys have anything that you want to add, or have any character that I missed or something, but these are the characters that I get that have certain criteria that is met. So here's the criteria. A, it's of course gonna be a character that people will say is impossible of sorts. Now I don't mean impossible as in like, oh, well, Sakura, I can't put Frogger in, it's impossible. What the fuck? I don't know why I keep saying Frogger. Leave me alone. What I mean is, I feel like these characters are ones that would blow people's minds. I feel like these are characters that will be talked about for ages. You guys will see what I mean when I reveal like who the final character should be, but basically characters that have high fan demand and would have some sort of huge impact on the Smash roster and on Smash Bros. As we know it. So yeah, that's kind of what I got so far, but yeah, let's go ahead and get to it. So the first character I have on the list, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, is of course Crash Bandicoot. I have Crash Bandicoot, the first one, my friends. Crash Bandicoot. Yes, Crash Bandicoot is the first character that I have in the roster. Now, why Crash Bandicoot? I think it's pretty obvious why I feel like Crash would be a great finisher character instead of one that should be like the middle or like towards the beginning. And I think Crash would be a very interesting way to finish off one of the aspects that we have in Smash Bros. Now, a long time ago with Super Smash Bros. Brawl, Sonic got revealed in one of probably the best trailers we've had for Brawl and in Smash in general. The thing about Sonic, and the reason why people wanted Sonic in the game so bad, is because of the whole Sonic and Mario rivalry that happened. Now you can recreate that in Smash Bros. Not only that, but then we have Nintendo and Sega being, you know, The character has been wanted actually since Melee. If I'm not mistaken, Sega said something about Sonic being in the game. Though usually when I say these things, I'm usually wrong half the time, and then I have to put the picture in and then actually put in like what it actually is. But so I'm just gonna say Sonic was originally meant to be in Melee, or was brought up by somebody from Melee, but then made it in Brawl. There's a lot of characters like that in Brawl. It's kind of weird how many characters like that in Brawl. It's really weird. But anyway, the reason why Sonic is so important to the franchise, I feel, and the reason why I feel like he should be in the roster is because he represents an aspect of history, not only gaming history, but Nintendo history. Very important that Mario finally had a rival. Well, if you guys know, there was actually a third in that regard. I know we count Mario and Sonic as friends, but Crash Bandicoot is the kind of like that final rivalry. Back then, he was the one franchise that could tango with Sonic and Mario, thus making him a very important character. Now, I know a lot of people say like, oh, Spyro should be in there as well, because usually when you think of Crash, you associate it with like the Spyro games. But Spyro isn't really in that rivalry of games, and that's why I feel like if Spyro was in Smash, he wouldn't be a finale character. I feel like Crash would make a lot of logistical sense, because not only, of course, we have the Crash Bandicoot games on the Switch, we have the Crash Trilogy remakes on the Switch, so I mean that bodes well to Crash being in Smash Brothers. But then on top of that, Crash Bandicoot, Mario, and Sonic, can you imagine those three being in the same game? I don't think we've had that ever, and I think that would be a very bold statement for Smash Brothers in that regard. Not like the Sonic, Mega Man, Pac-Man, Mario kind of thing we have going on, with a lot of people saying that we have gaming's biggest icons, but I feel like we're missing Crash Bandicoot. Even though I did say that in one of my videos, I remember I said something about Crash Bandicoot. I said that I'm not really a huge fan of the Crash games. I kind of came off a little hostile there. I didn't mean to come off that hostile. It's like, once again, I don't care who gets on the roster. Crash isn't one that I'm particularly like super gung-ho for, and you know, I want him in Smash Bros. It's not a want. It's just, I feel like he's kind of needed almost in a way. And you know, I know I said I didn't like the Crash game, but you know, let's just sweep that under the rug, okay? We're just gonna where's the rug? Yeah, this is the rug here. This is the rug here. We're just gonna do this. What the? Sweep that under the rug. You heard absolutely nothing, my friends. You heard absolutely nothing. And how do you know? Because snitches get stitches, remember that. But yeah, I think Crash Bandicoot would make a very, very exciting character. On top of that whole rivalry they have gone on, we have the people who have been very, very, very vocal about Crash Bandicoot in Smash Bros. We have tons of people wanting him in, and I feel like people have made that much of a bang to put that initiative in. And another reason I think he's this way is because of the whole thing that Crash is known for being kind of a Sony thing, more so than a Nintendo thing. And once again, I think you have Crash Bandicoot represented by Sony, and you have Mario, which is like Nintendo, join hands together. And then technically you have Banjo there too, which is like Xbox. So I think ultimately he would just finish off a lot of like trilogies. Was it trilogy? Or like groups. He would finish off a lot of groups in the game. He would finish off Mario, Sonic, Crash Bandicoot, finish off Nintendo, Microsoft, and Sony, the three biggest companies in gaming, you know, join hands together. I've already made a video on how Microsoft and Nintendo are buddy-buddy. How we can talk about Sony. I don't know. You just do the most. You know what I'm saying? I think that'd be cool. I think that would be pretty cool. Plus, it'd be funny to have Crash Bandicoot because he's not in PlayStation All-Stars, but he's in Smash Bros. Seriously, man, how do you mess up that badly? I just don't get it. I just don't get it. So yeah, Crash would be cool to have in Smash. However, there are other characters to be talked about as well. And once again, I've wrote down a couple. So the next one I'll mention is a character that I don't think is as huge as a finisher character as these other guys, and that is Tracer from Overwatch. Now, a long time ago, there was a leak of someone saying, I believe it was when Overwatch was originally rumored to be on the Switch and not properly announced, that Tracer was going to be the next character in Smash. If I'm not mistaken, it was based on some leak from some 4chan guy that had really no merit to it. It was just people just want to be hyped for some reason. I don't know. Now, we know Overwatch has become an overwide world phenomenon recently until Fortnite. And we know that an Overwatch 2 is coming out and stuff like that. But why Tracer would make a finishing character, for me personally, why I feel like Tracer would make for a not a good finisher, but you know, a finisher, is I guess because of how Blizzard and Nintendo have just kindled a relationship, because you know, Overwatch is on the Switch. Honestly, I feel like Tracer is one of those characters where I feel like she would just, oh god, now I'm just having flashbacks to how she can like go through time, and that's the same thing that Bayonetta can do, and it's like, oh god, do I really want that again? I just put Tracer there because I don't know, I feel like Overwatch is a series that I feel like is very community driven, and I feel like a lot of community driven franchises, and I don't mean community driven as that, but like heavily relied on the community. I always saw Tracer as sort of a Mii costume, not really a whole ass character. I could see like as a Mii costume or something like that, like she could be over Gunner or something. Maybe you could have like a Reaper skin Mii costume and he could be over Mii Gunner too. I feel like Tracer would make that, but I think it'd be interesting to see Tracer work. I guess the other reason is because of like a moveset would be kind of crazy with the character, and I feel like Tracer's special gimmick or whatever she does, I feel like could be an interesting one. I think she has a lot of potential as a fighter. So maybe thinking about this, maybe she wouldn't be the greatest finisher. Maybe she would just be second to last, third to last, you know, that type of characters. I can see that. I can see that. So yeah, I guess that's just, I just wasted my time, huh? Well, this is awkward. So the next character that I have is another one that a lot of people want, and that is of course Gina.
Not again.
A lot of people are confident that Gina is going to be in this roster, but I'm looking at it and it's like, oh my gosh, are they really going to put Gina on the roster? And I just chose Gina out of the sheer fact that so many of the Gino fans have just been waiting. And Sakurai has literally been like cock teasing since Brawl for this character. In an interview, I remember it said that Sakurai said that Gina would be cool. I think Gina would have been a cool fighter to be in Smash Bros. Smash 4 comes around, dude's a Mii costume, you know? Okay, I'm not gonna hold you guys. I'm kind of sick and tired of talking about Gina. I mean, I've made 2 whole videos about the character, and he's still being brought up in conversation. So I'm just going to leave it at this point. This segment was originally a lot longer, but I'm just gonna leave it at this point, okay? So let's get to the segment. Gina would be an interesting fighter because of those fans. That's honestly why I chose Gino, and why I felt like he'd be a good finisher. Because it will make a lot of people happy. It's basically the opposite of Byleth, a character that's been so requested and so wanted by everyone, and it just doesn't seem like it's gonna happen. In that last gleam of hope, he just appears and everyone just screams. Can you imagine that? On 5 character packs without any Gino, you don't get a single Mii costume or anything. People are just, man, I just freaking give up. I can't do it anymore, Sakurai. Don't do this to me. And then Sakurai's like, we have one more fighter for you today. And then the trailer starts, and gleam of light, Gino just pops out of nowhere, and people are like, Anyways, I think for that sole reason, Gino could be a finisher character, though maybe not the most likely. I think Tracer and Gina are my only ones where I'm like, I don't think I'm gonna be in there. I think we'll just save that for later, like one of those type of characters that I think will be revealed earlier in the roster, but who knows? I think it'd make a cool finisher character. Alright, and that's all I have to say. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, if you guys want to hear more about Gino, if you guys want to hear more about him being a Fighter Pass 2, and my opinions of if he's actually gonna make it a Fighter Pass 2, / if he had a moveset and he was confirmed for Fighter Pass 2, what I imagine a moveset for him would look like, go check out the iCards in the section above. Click the eyes, okay? Can you click the eyes? Dog, Igbar is doing his damn hardest, bro. Click the damn eye, alright? Alright, we're moving on. Next! So the next character that I have on the list is our buddy Sora here. And the reason why I feel like this character is like the way he is. So let's talk about it. So this is from what I understand from everything that everyone's told me, from Darwin to other people who I know are Kingdom Hearts fans. This is how I know it. For Sora to be in the game, Nintendo has to go through Disney. However, even so, Disney has apparently shown a lot of evidence, such as the statement a long time ago that they said that they don't mind video game companies using their IPs. And then on top of that, you have other little things like the history between the two companies, as well as Sora himself. On top of that, people have been requesting Sora for so long now, and I think now more than ever, because they've seen Sakurai do the impossible. The legendary Banjo-Kazooie's in Smash Bros. The legendary Cloud is in Smash Bros. We have to have the legendary Sora. And it's crazy how people complain about about there being too many sword fighters, yet they basically want a sword fighter in the game. Yes, I know he uses a freaking key, but that key is so damn large, it may as well be a freaking sword, so leave me alone, alright? So to conclude this short-ass essay, because of the recent popularity of Sora, I think honestly this is probably one of his best shots, because not only is he a relevant as mother trucker, but he's also a character that's heavily supported by the community. So I think that blend makes a perfect finisher type character, as it would provide hype to finish off the entire DLC. But I guess honestly it would depend on what characters are exactly revealed before then as well, so it is what it is there. So the next character I have on here, I think it's pretty obvious. I think it's the one that a lot of people expect to be one of the final fighters introduced to Smash Bros. Is kind of the opposite of what I said about Crash, about the whole Sony thing and how like Sony and Nintendo, this would be like their first thing. But Master Chief. Oh boy, Master Chief. Now if y'all don't know about Master Chief, y'all are tripping, because Halo is such an iconic franchise. I think besides Steve, I think Master Chief is one of the closest we've ever been to having a character that competes with characters like Mario, Sonic, and Crash, Mega Man, Pac-Man, and so on and so forth. He is the most recent iconic character that I can think of that can compete with franchises like those, the big franchise. He's basically the mascot of Xbox. I mean, his game is the first one coming to the Xbox Series X. Piece sick. The hell is that name? Usually I would say, damn, the day Master Chief is in the game is the day freaking Microsoft makes a good name for their console. It's never gonna happen. But now that we've had Banjo-Kazooie in the game, now we see that they're in the game now, and Microsoft and Nintendo have gone into some exclusive talks and such, I think that Master Chief would be such a crazy character to be in the game. And normally I would say that's damn near impossible, but we've seen it happen. We've seen Banjo-Kazooie get in the game. There's nothing stopping Master Chief now. Nintendo and Phil and Spencer and them just have to talk it out and decide on something, which I think will be relatively easy because they've already kind of had stuff in for Rare. So I mean, it makes sense. I think it would make a lot of sense to put Master Chief in the game. On top of that, you could have like the Halo collection come to the Switch or something. I know I talked about in the Microsoft Nintendo video. I would highly recommend go watching that video if you want to hear more about Master Chief and kind of the relationship between Nintendo and Microsoft. I highly recommend that because I did some damn good research on that. I think I did better research than I normally do. So yeah, if you want, and I'm proud of that video. In that case, I feel like Master Chief will make such a big whoop. I think that is something that could pass up characters like Banjo-Kazooie. And I know the Doom guy, and we could talk about it. You know, recently in a recent interview, Bethesda said that they haven't been approached by Nintendo for the Doom guy character. And I know lots of people don't believe it, but I mean, shit. If we really think about it, Sakurai finished the roster. He said in the Byleth video that he recorded that in November. Then he said he finished the roster a couple months before. It's already been planned a couple months ago. So I would assume that's around like September or so when he's already had the roster complete. And he's already had all these characters in and stuff, and I feel like I just don't think that they're lying. I don't know if there's been an example of a company that's actually lied to the media saying that, hey, this character wasn't for Smash, and then they actually got confirmed for Smash. I don't know, but I don't know if Bethesda can even talk about that if they had a character coming. I don't know if they can do that. Remember when a lot of people were going to the ARMS developer and they were talking about them in Smash, and he said, nah, we haven't been approached by him, and then everyone thought he was lying, but he wasn't lying. So I trusted. I don't think Doom guy is in the game. In fact, I've heard a lot of people say the thing that makes Doom is the violence and gore, and since that's a no-no in Nintendo land, it's just not something that's gonna happen because that would be taking out what Doom is about, and that's something that Sakurai doesn't do. And if that is the case, I've never played Doom, but I know how gory it is. Like, I've seen trailers and stuff and whatnot. So I would say the next best shooter game to use, and I know Doom is kind of the one that showed off the shooting genre, but I mean, you can't get more iconic than Master Chief when it comes to the shooting genre. I mean, unless you could put like a COD soldier, but I wouldn't put that personally. I think Halo, I think having Master Chief, a character with actual personality, stuff like that, I think that would make a lot more sense. At the end of the day, Master Chief is so iconic. I feel like he could work as his own character. I feel like he would be such an amazing finishing character, and I think would make a lot of sense. And I think out of all of these choices that I have, I think Master Chief and or Crash Bandicoot would be like the two perfect finishers to finish off the roster. Alright, so bonus time, ladies and gentlemen. Normally, this video will be over at this point, but I have one more character to show you guys on a scale from 1 to 10. So this character is something that I came up with while I was actually editing this video and doing the research that I did for some of the characters that actually ended up being one of the final characters to be revealed to the roster. So one of the characters that was revealed, and one character that I want to bring up as one final character that I think is probably my favorite out of the 5 I've chosen. Originally I said Crash, Master Chief, and stuff, and that's all well and good. But I think one thing that will throw a lot of people off is that the final character is Taboo. Okay, so why would I say Taboo from Brawl? It sounds stupid, right? It sounds like a weird character to finish off. Well, I actually got inspiration from Street Fighter V, believe it or not. One of the final characters revealed in that game is actually a character named Seth. Now, if you guys don't know who Seth is, apparently Seth is a boss character from Street Fighter 4. I'm not gonna go into that because honestly, I don't play Street Fighter. I ain't gonna hold with y'all. Well, that's one of the fighters that is talked about in Street Fighter V. And in Street Fighter V Champion Edition, Seth is a playable character and one of the final playable characters to be in the roster. Now, I feel like the reason Seth is the final playable character, maybe it's just convenience, maybe it's not here, yeah, you know what I mean? What? But one of the things that I find interesting about Seth is actually the whole gimmick behind his character. In the description, as you can see, it says Seth constantly seeks new data from the fiercest fighters in the world and has the unique ability to steal moves from an opponent. Interesting, isn't it, bro? I think there's been a couple characters that's had that. Don't quote me on it because I'm not gonna sit here and think of all the characters that are gonna have that. But it is a unique trait that I do believe some characters have, the ability to kind of copy moves from each other. And I feel like with the whole lore behind Taboo and exactly what he is as a character, I feel like Taboo would actually fit that role quite snugly. For one, I mean, the only character we have in a Smash roster is like Mies. It's just this stupid little freaks. Oh, get them all done. With the whole Taboo situation, I feel like Taboo would be an interesting character, as maybe he can actually take a page from his own gimmick and actually be able to imitate character. Now you're probably saying to yourself, well, he could never do that in Brawl. I don't know what you're talking about. You're charting poo-poo knowledge. Except for, first of all, what the hell is poo-poo knowledge, my guy? Can you explain that? Like, what does that even mean? But anyways, that's not important here. The important part is that Taboo is actually a character in Super Smash Bros. Brawl that actually has quite a lot of lore to it if you really look into the character. If you want more information about a basic summary of the character, you guys can check out one of the early videos I did talking about all the villains in Smash Bros. And he was one that I've done a pretty penny of research for. So with that being said, now that you've watched that video, hopefully, if not, you're just gonna kind of be more confused. It is what it is. There's speculation out there that Master Core and Taboo are almost one and the same because of a lot of different things. I can talk about that in a different video. The whole point of this section is that Master Core, if you guys don't know, has an ability to basically copy the fighter, and basically you're able to copy that fighter and their entire moves in one. Legend has it that Taboo may have this power as well. This was even present in Super Smash Bros. Brawl Subspace Emissary, and on top of that, it was present in Smash 4 as well. In the final boss fight with Master Core, there was a part of the fight, one of the last parts of the fight, where Master Core transforms into your character, the one you're playing, and is able to copy your entire moveset. With that being said, I think that would be a cool thing to translate over into Smash Brothers. Like I said, man, Taboo is such an interesting character. I do like his design a lot, and the only thing about him is that he felt so last minute, but I really like the character design aspect of him. He's sort of like this glitchy-esque character, and I think he would fit into a role similar to Seth from Street Fighter V, where I think he could have the ability to take on the appearance of one of your fighters and fight like the other fighter. Maybe that could be like a down special or something. Or maybe you can even take it a whole ass step further and have some moves similar to maybe the first 8 characters of the roster. For example, maybe he pulls out a Master Sword and does his up air similar to Link. Or maybe he transforms his hand into a cannon for a forward air and then charges forward like how Samus does with her gun. I don't know how they could handle the character. I mean, that would be pretty cool, wouldn't it? Not only would it be very unexpected because not a lot of people are talking about this sort of thing, but then you also have the fact that would actually be a very cool way to fight. And once again, as for me and my opinion is that as long as the fighter is cool sounding to play as, then that is something that's dope to me, and the character itself doesn't really matter. However, I think Taboo would fit the role perfectly. And plus, once again, this would add things like a villain to the roster, which a lot of people complain about, so why not do that there? And plus, let's be honest, would you not want to play Taboo? I mean, especially if you had a lot of the moves that were similar to his boss fight. He has so much material to go from, you can easily make a moveset out of that. And especially if you copy a lot of the ideas that were present in Subspace Emissary, like the whole copying ability. Once again, just some food for thought. But other than that though, that is it. So cue outro like 6-month-old me. So those are the 5 characters that I have on the roster. I have one more, but honestly I feel like this character could warrant his own video. So if you guys want me to talk about the character, leave a like. That's all I gotta say. I'm probably not going to talk about him because no one leaves likes. But if you want me to talk about the character, leave a like and we'll see. I'll see. Or let me know in the comments. I think the 2 that make the most sense for me in this case will be Master Chief and Crash. And I think Gino, while he would be cool to have, I think him and Tracer would work as not really finisher characters, but as something else. Smash is not known to have many finishers, but I think Fighter Pass 2, if it's going to be the last one, I think is going to go out with a bang. Hey, get it? Because Master Chief, hey, give me nuts, guys, give me fist bump. Ready? Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for talking about this. And this is one topic that I had like in my head that I wanted to talk about, and I felt like it was cool to talk about it. This was something that was definitely off script. Hopefully in the next video I'll have like actual notes down for and stuff like that. I really want to say thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys like this episode and want to see what else is on the grill, you guys check out this whole playlist in the description below for season 2 of Smash Talk, ladies and gentlemen. And then also make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you guys want more Smash Talk on your plate. But with all that being said, I will see you guys in the next episode. So with all that, you can put your spatulas down now, but keep it sizzling, my Baconators. Peace.